Chapter 6. Ned's Last Days. July 1880. The police take Ned Kelly to Benalla, then to Melbourne Prison. There is a lot of waiting and talking and more talking. The police talk, the judges talk, Ned talks. But the ending is always the same. At the end of October, Ned went before his last judge, Sir Edmund Barry, in Melbourne. For 2 days, Judge Barry listened to the police, listened to Ned, read the police papers and thought about it. But he didn't think long. There were a lot of dead policemen in Ned Kelly's life, and there was only one answer to that. Ned Kelly must die. Hang him in the prison. Hang him by the neck until he is dead. A lesson to every outlaw in Australia. Ned's mother Ellen was still in Melbourne Prison. When they told her the news, she cried. She cried for her dead son Dan, and she cried for her son Ned, alive but waiting to die. They took her to see Ned on his last day alive. What did mother and son talk about that day? Ned's sisters and brother worked hard to help him. "How can they do this?" said Maggie angrily. "How can they hang poor Ned? What did the police do to him? Why don't the judges think about that?" "Shh, Maggie," said Jim. "No time for that now. We must get out there and talk to the people in the town." And so they did. They went all round Melbourne, to all the hotels, talking to everybody. "They're going to hang Ned Kelly. What do you think about that?" they asked. "It's not right," said one man. "Why do they want to hang him?" a second man said. "Because he killed a policeman?" "No, because he helps poor people and gives them money, that's why." "But what can we do?" asked a third man. "Put your names on our petition," was the answer. There were more than 32,000 names on the Kelly petition, but the petition changed nothing. So the last visitors came to see Ned on the 10th of November, and he ate his last dinner. Then he sang for half an hour and went to bed. Next morning, they took Ned across the prison to a room with a rope. Outside the prison, more than 5,000 people waited, men and women, rich and poor. "Where's the Kelly family?" one woman asked. "Some of them are here at the hotel," was the answer, "but Maggie went back to Beechworth yesterday. She wanted to be with her children, and there's Ned's poor mother. She's in the prison too, waiting for 10 o'clock. Then the prisoners in Melbourne Prison began to make a terrible noise, shouting and crying out and banging on their doors. And in her room, Ellen Kelly cried quietly for her oldest son. In the hotel, Jim Kelly sat with his head in his hands. "Poor Ned, this is the end of all his troubles," he said. And at 10 o'clock, the prison officers put the rope around Ned Kelly's neck and hanged him. Ned was dead. But in the northeast, life went on. 68 people got money from the Kelly gang reward. Schoolteacher Thomas Curnow got £1,000. a new man, Policeman Graham, came to Greta. He was a good policeman, and Ned's friends listened to him. "Don't make trouble, and then you can buy your farms," he told them. He went to 11 Mile Creek and had tea with Ellen Kelly. Everyone talked about that. Slowly, things began to change. The police tried to be more friendly, to help poor people and not just the rich. Most of the young men stopped stealing and fighting the police. Soon it was quiet in the northeast. The other Kelly children stayed out of trouble. Jim Kelly was a good son to his mother all her life. Ellen lived to the age of 93 and had many grandchildren. But she never forgot her oldest son, Ned. Who was the real Ned Kelly? Did he fight for the poor or just for Ned Kelly? Some people say he was a brave man. Some people say he was a fool. Some people say he was just a killer, just a wild man with a gun. One thing is sure. More than 100 years later, people are still talking about him. There are books about him, and songs and films and websites. Everybody still remembers Australia's most famous outlaw.